What is actually happening in the Orange County housing market? When are we going to start to see more inventory come to the market? When are we going to see that inevitable pullback in home prices? Well, in today's video, we're going to spend some time and talk about the Orange County housing market, what I'm seeing as a real estate agent when working with buyers out there, what I'm seeing in working with sellers, so that if you're out there looking to buy or sell a home, so that you know exactly what to expect and you can make the best decisions for yourself. Now, something I want to point out very early in this video, real estate is local. So if you're outside of Orange County, California, and you're watching this video, there's a really good chance that your market might be reacting a little bit differently than our market. And that's why it's always super important to be following a local real estate agent in your market, someone that understands the data there and can guide you in the right direction. But if you're in Orange County, California, Southern California, then you're in the right place. With that said, I'd like to take a minute and ask a favor. If you find any value in my videos at all, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. And also feel free to subscribe to the channel to stay updated on everything Orange County and Huntington Beach related. In order to understand the Orange County housing market, I think it's important to start with the idea of supply and demand. When you have too many people chasing too few goods, that essentially drives the price up of those said goods. In this case, we have too many home buyers chasing not enough homes, and in turn, what we're seeing is home prices stabilize and move up in many markets out there. Now, many of you watching this video might actually be confused, especially if you're paying attention to the media, if you're reading different articles out there, because many of those articles talk about the idea of inventory increasing, the housing market slowing, getting ready for a crash, and all this more or less crazy nonsense. When in all reality, the housing market is very, very stable, and it's largely due to the lack of inventory out there in the market. At the time I'm filming this video, we have 2,067 active listings on the market. Now, that might not mean anything to you, but understand we started the year just over 2,500 homes. Now, December and January are typically the slowest months of the year. So when we start with that low number of inventory, say 2,500 homes at the beginning of the year, we usually see that number continue to increase all the way through midsummer, which is generally when we see inventory peak. But this year, we actually went backwards. We started with 2,500 homes. As of today, we're sitting somewhere around 2,067 homes, which is the lowest level of inventory for the end of April since they began tracking back in 2004. With that said, it's also important to understand the 3-year average between 2017 and 2019. And the reason we're using those years is because it was a more normal time in the market. 2020, 2021, 2022 were crazy years. So what we try to do is go back prior to that craziness, so 2017 to 2019, and look at what a normal market was then. And back then, the average number of homes at the end of April would be sitting around 6,002 homes, which is roughly 190% higher than where we are today. Now, with that said, understand there are new listings coming to the market, but the caveat here is that they're being met with buyer demand. Because you have so many people chasing so few properties coming to the market, many of those homes are selling with multiple offers above the asking price in just a few days, which in turn is not allowing inventory to build. So the question that everyone wants to know is, why isn't more inventory coming to the market? Well, it's largely due to the fact that many homeowners out there who would consider selling their homes are looking at the market and seeing two different things. One, they're not seeing inventory, houses that they like, homes that they want to move into, therefore they're not willing to list their home for sale. On top of that, they're also looking at the prices of these homes. They're also looking at the mortgage rates in which many of them would get if they were to finance a new property. And because 90% of California homeowners have an interest rate below 5%, in fact, 71% have an interest rate below 4%, when they look at the market and they look at the current interest rates, not only do they see a number double from where they currently are, they see a housing payment that is considerably more on top of a house price that's more, in addition to having to pay higher property taxes on a more valuable house. So all in all, it's much more expensive that would-be seller to potentially sell their home. Therefore, they're dealing with whatever issues they might have staying in their current home because they like the low monthly payment. And this in turn is keeping inventory off the market. Now, one of the questions that a lot of people out there have is, when will we start to see more inventory come to the market? What is going to unlock this inventory, if you will. Because at the moment, we have a gridlock between buyers and sellers, right? We have buyers who want to buy. We have sellers who aren't willing to sell. So these two are kind of battling each other, if you will. So what would cause more sellers to put their homes on the market? Well, at the end of the day, it's lower interest rates. As of today, filming this video, interest rates are sitting somewhere around 6.5%. I personally believe that you would need to see interest rates somewhere between 4.5% and 5% to get sellers motivated to put their homes on the market. And while I do believe interest rates are going to come down, interest rates tend to follow inflation, and we've seen inflation come down. And I think over the next couple of months, as we start to see rent and shelter data reflect a little bit more accurately in the CPI numbers, because it's a lagging indicator, it's been lagging considerably over the last couple of months. So once we start to see those numbers reflect more accurately, we're likely to see inflation drop significantly, which in turn should allow interest rates to move lower. Now, with that said, I'm not sure you're going to see interest rates in the 4.5% to 5% range in the next 6 months or even the next year. While I do think interest rates are going to move into the mid to low 5% range, it's hard to say exactly when that's going to happen. So this is where I have a question for you. If you're watching this video, when do you think rates are going to start to move lower again? And on top of that, what rate do you think it would take for sellers to put their homes on the market? I'm curious. So do me a favor and leave a comment below. Now, because we've seen so much buyer demand out there with the limited number of properties coming in the market, we've seen the days on market drop from around 84 days to currently around 37 days, which means on average, it's taking around 37 days for the average home to go under contract. Now, many of you buyers watching this video going, Jeb, that's crazy. I'm seeing homes go under contract in just a couple of days. Yes, that's because some homes go in a couple of days, some take a couple of months, because many of those homes out there are overpriced. We still have a lot of sellers shooting for the moon with regards to their list price. Therefore, their homes are sitting on the market, days on the market are going up, which essentially skews that number. Now, in a minute, I want to talk about Huntington Beach a little bit more specifically, but before we do that, I want to talk about a couple of buyers that I have out there in the market that are currently putting in offers on property and exactly what we're experiencing. These are solid buyers at the moment. The ones I want to talk about today are putting somewhere between 10 and 20% down. They're looking for a home under 1.2 million. And ideally, they're looking for a home that needs some work. So they're not looking for the perfect cookie cutter home, the turnkey home that a lot of home buyers out there are looking for. They're actually looking for something where they can put their own touch on it, do some work, and increase the value of that property. That's one of the things that they want to do. Well, we've put in multiple offers over the last couple of months, and unfortunately, we've had no success because they're in a very competitive price point. So even though they're shortening contingencies, they're putting 3% down on the earnest money deposit, they're waiving some of the contingencies, they're not really asking the seller for anything, they're willing to buy the property as is, we're still coming up short because we're competing against a lot of different buyers out there. Many of them have cash offers. In fact, the last couple of offers we've written have had somewhere between 15 and 20 offers. Now I'm not telling you this to get you upset clearly, but I think it's important to know what to expect when you're out there putting offers in on property, because if you're watching the media, they have it all wrong, as our current housing market is still really competitive. But what does it look like here a little bit more local, here in Huntington Beach? Well, at the time I'm filming this video, we have 142 active listings on the market, with the median home price sitting somewhere around $1,208,000. On top of that, homes are selling on average in around 13 days. Now, with that said, I have a lot of different buyers out there looking for a single family home somewhere around that $1 million price point. Well, I looked up inventory today in Huntington Beach, and we have a total of 4 single family detached homes priced under $1 million. And guess what? 2 of them are at $999,000. One is at $1 million, and then there's one just a little bit lower. So if you were to say how many homes are under $999,000, there would only be one. And here's the crazy thing, the average square foot on those properties are somewhere between 11 and 1,200 square feet. So just understand, if you're out there looking to buy a property at the moment, it is still very competitive. But on the flip side, if you're looking to sell a property, you really have the market in your hands. But here's the thing, you have to price the home correctly. I currently have a listing that has been sitting on the market just over 30 days. Not a long time by any means, but we're not getting the showings that I think we should be getting in a competitive market like this. And the main reason is because I believe the home is a bit overpriced. So what I'm seeing is the homes that are priced under market value are actually getting a ton of activity, and many of them are selling with multiple offers over the asking price. Fair market value, where it's priced exactly where it should be, is still getting activity as well. Whereas those homes that are overpriced, unfortunately, those homes are just sitting. But understand, each city in Orange County reacts a little bit differently. So if you have specific questions, you need a professional real estate agent to guide you through the process, I would love the opportunity to help. You can actually find my contact information below. But if you have additional questions on Huntington Beach and want to know why many people want to call it home, do me a favor and check out this video here.